Hi guys, One Videos here, back again for another video on the channel. I'm back again for another transfer video. Swansea City then have signed 19-year-old Brighton midfielder Malick Yalcouye on a season-long loan. What a signing this will be. Now, I know I'm aware, I say that for basically every single signing, oh, what a signing, but trust me, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. Now, Brighton are a team you want to loan players from. Brighton have some very good, exciting young players, as we'll mention further on in the video, some of the profit they made on a few of these players. And when Brighton signed some random geezer, who's only made 11 senior appearances, like Yalcouye did, you know you got a player. So yeah, the 19-year-old then was signed by Brighton last summer in the transfer window for around £6 million after only making 11 senior appearances for IFK Gothenburg. So that just shows how well Brighton scouting is. 11 senior appearances, yep, we'll snap him up. And as soon as they bought him, they loaned him straight out to Austria, to Sturm Graz. In Sturm Graz, then he made 36 appearances in all competitions, including 8 in the Champions League. I think he got 4 goals and 1 assist in all competitions as well. So, yeah, for a midfielder who's tend to be more of a defensive midfielder, it's not too bad to get some goals there. Now, according to BBC Sport, then, Swansea are looking at Yalcouye as a Lewis O'Brien replacement in terms of the energy and his dynamism in that midfield. Now, Yalcouye is basically a Kante regen. He's absolutely everywhere across the pitch. He sprints, he does the hard work, he does the things people don't really notice. He's got a bundle of energy. I think he'll be a really big addition to Swansea in that midfield. Now, of course, we have signed a lot of midfielders already this summer. Malick Yalcouye, we've signed Ethan Galbraith as well, and of course Yalcouye comes in as well. So yeah, we're definitely strengthening that midfield, and we had to with a loss of Lewis O'Brien. Now, you look at some of the players Brighton have loaned to Championship clubs over the last few seasons and have been successful. Also, you got Ben White, who's on loan at Leeds, gained promotion with them. Yasin Ayari did okay as well, but also John Paul Van Hecker did really well with Blackburn, and now he's a mainstay in that Brighton Hove Albion team. But yeah, our last Brighton loanee, Carl Rushworth, did very well with Swansea. Obviously, his last loan, personally, for Carl Rushworth wasn't great at Hull, but that was a bit of a tricky situation that the goalkeepers they got. He was a bit of a silly loan from Brighton in that aspect. But he's at Coventry, and he's already kept a clean sheet in his first game. So yeah, can already see Rushworth being a success at Coventry. Now, Yalcouye then is an Ivory Coast under-23 international, but can also represent Mali. He's got dual nationality, so it'll be very interesting to see where he does end up in the future. But yeah, here's some of the players that Brighton have brought in and sold for huge profits. Moises Caicedo, 116 million euros. Alexis McAllister, 42 million euros. Basuma, 29 million euros. Leonardo Trossard, 29 million euros. Marco Cucurella, 65 million euros. And Ben White, 58 million euros. Now, yeah, just shows how well Brighton are. They scout these players and sell them on for huge profits. And the next one will be Carlos Baleba as well. They've signed him for a good amount of money. And look, the team's around him already. Man United, if they want to buy him, they're going to have to put up an absolute ridiculous amount of money. Now, Brighton already got their Baleba replacement in Malick Yalcouye, so I've already got the replacement when Baleba leaves. So Brighton are in such a well-run club. Tony Bloom, fantastic manager. Also, it all started when they got rid of Chris Houghton and brought in Graham Potter, and that just started that Moneyball system. But yeah, they do amazing business, Brighton. It's got to be said, they are probably one of the best run clubs probably in Europe at the moment. They're so well run. Now, Swans will have Yalcouye as our second loanee. Of course, we got Keelan Casey from West Ham. So you can have 5, you can have as many loans as you want, but you can only have 5 in a matchday squad. So if we are going to utilise that loan market, you can only have another 3. Now, I'm a big fan of loans. I think every club needs to utilise the loan market, especially if you're not got that parachute payment money. I think it's a cheaper way to get around transfers. Obviously, you have to replace them in the next summer, but you've got to take that gamble. And when you've got a player of Malick Yalcouye who's quality at 19, it's frightening how good he's going to be. But like I said, Brighton believe he's going to be the next Carlos Baleba. And yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing about this. I know I say it for every transfer, but this guy is so highly thought of. Brighton fans absolutely love him, even though they've hardly seen him. You know, the Sturm Graz fans absolutely loved him as well. 11 senior appearances, and Brighton bought him for 6 mil. You're not bad if Brighton buy you, I'll tell you that now. But look, we've got to be a bit patient. It could take him a little while to settle in. He is only 19. We do have to remember that. He does not look like 19, I'll say that. I know I'm 22 and I do not look 22 myself. But yeah, he does not look 19. But His energy is going to be a bundle of joy to see in that midfield. You know, against teams who are a little bit weaker than us in the league, where they're sitting back, I think the energy when we're pressing forward will really help with the forward press and midfield press, and I think it's going to help us massively, and I really hope this boy stays fit. Now, the last time I was this excited about a loan signing was probably Morgan Gibbs-White, and obviously we all heard what Wolves fans had to say about Gibbs, how good he would be at this level, and unfortunately for him, he had a really bad injury, so we only seen Gibbs-White for, 4 or 5 appearances. So fingers crossed that Yalcouye can stay fit, or Yalcouye, I should say, sorry. But yeah, really, really excited about this signing. And fair play to the club again, it's done. I did report on this transfer a few weeks ago. I said it seems like Hoffenheim, Toulouse after him, and apparently Toulouse did actually agree a deal with Brighton for Yalcouye, but for some reason that did not work out. So when this did break about 2 weeks ago, Swansea have entered negotiations with Brighton for the midfielder. I was in work and I was absolutely buzzing. I did TikTok like, get him done, get him done. And obviously he was supposed to be in before the weekend against Borough, but obviously he was a little bit slow negotiating, which can totally be understandable with a player of Yalcouye's thing. And this is why it is important to keep the Swansea style of play. Now, I know people have their reservations, or Sheehan like myself, but this is why you've got to keep your style of identity. Would Brighton have loaned Yalcouye if we were a team like Stoke, a team like West Brom, who, you know, seem to do that direct ball a bit more often? I don't think we get him. This is why Swansea style is so important, because we're very unique. We're very different to most teams where we have got this big identity from the Premier League years, where we were the first real team to do this Spanish-style football in the English league. So it's important, and people need to remember how important that is. Now, I'm not saying we need to be doing suicidal ball every 2 seconds, playing around the back. At times, we're just going to hump it long. But we do need to keep our identity, because if we don't, we can't pull off signings like this. So fair play to the board. Fair play to Alan Sheehan for getting this one over the line. This guy has got player of the season potential. Obviously, doubt he's going to get it with Swansea, because I don't think we're going to do very well this season in terms of the top 6 push. But in terms of an overall team of the season, young player of the season, Yalcouye, I can definitely see in there. So thank you very much, Brighton and Hove Albion, for Malick Yalcouye. I'm absolutely buzzing to see what he does in the Swansea City shirt. If there is any Brighton fans, please do let me down below if I've missed anything, or anything else where you think he can bring, or if there's any Sturm Graz fans. Highly doubt it, but you never know. The YouTube channel is continental these days. But Swans fans, let me know down below, how excited are you about this signing? And he is eligible to play against Sheffield United on Saturday, so be very interested to see if he starts or comes off the bench. I assume he'll come off the bench maybe for Jay Fulton. What a substitution that will be. But no, Yalcouye to Swansea is done. What a signing. And yeah, welcome to Swansea City, Malick Yalcouye, who joins a season-long loan from one of the best clubs, or best well-run clubs in the world, from Brighton. Thank you very much. And yeah, can't wait to see him in a Swan shirt. It's going to be exciting.
I need a one more chance. Oh, baby, let me show you. I need a one more chance. Oh.